little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about your love life in April. So we're going to be discussing the opportunities as well as the challenges, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because as you guys know, my channel is of course for motivation as well as positivity, to give you a lot of different angles to view things, but it is also about being brutally honest about what's in the cards for you. So if you're ready for a very honest reading, you have tuned into the right video by the right reader. So regarding the four groups that you can choose from, they are as follows. We have the Amazonite, we have the Howlite, we have the Citrine, as well as the Orchid Calcite. So if you're completely new to pick a card readings, what you do is you scroll into the description box or to the comment section, and then you click the timestamp of the stone that you feel connects the most with you. That is the reading that you should choose, okay? Whichever stone you feel resonates with you, fast forward to that reading. And of course, you can feel drawn to two groups, multiple groups. That is completely fine, and that just means that your personal reading when it comes to this video and this topic is a mixture between multiple stones. And for all of you who have been asking me about the zodiac necklace that I wear in each and every video, as well as the rose quartz and amethyst rings, the link is down below, so you guys can check that out at your convenience. But I want to keep this intro short because I'd rather spend more time within the individual groups so I can give you more insight and just talk for longer within the readings. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Amazonite, and to all my other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number one, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amazonite group number one, which is especially soothing if you're of a fire sign. It is just such a gorgeous light blue stone. Excellent choice group number one. Let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's going on in your love life in April. So we have the medicine bag, we have the upper world, as well as four-legged. So one thing that I see here is that April of 2020 may take a little bit of endurance from you, okay? The month may seem very long, okay? It may seem almost like you're just waiting out for April to be done and over with. But I want you to know that that is maybe not the best way to use your time or the best way to see things, because I do see here in the medicine bag that there are opportunities there for you in love to cultivate the type of love life that you desire. And I see here in the upper world that the thing with April is that you're going to have to put in the work in April to then reap the rewards, the benefits, what it is that you desire in the future. So keep that in mind, group number one. I know instant gratification is so much more fun, but sometimes you just have to put in the work prior to being able to reap the rewards and the benefits. And it's important for you to just endure, to stay strong, even if April is not going exactly as you wanted it to go in your love life. But let's see what else is there and what April is going to bring for you. We have the 4 of acorns as well as the 10 of acorns. So the suit of acorns corresponds to fire signs. Fire signs are very passionate, okay? Fire signs are very creative and out there. So I want you to know in the 4 of acorns, the fact that you can find a lot of comfort in community and the people who are closest to you and people who are very near and dear, especially when it comes to love. When I see here the 10 of acorns in correlation to the 4 of acorns, I see that there may be somebody a lot closer to you than you ever expected that is that potential love interest, that is somebody that you can see yourself with in the future, okay? So I want you to consider each and every aspect of your love life and to not kind of rule anybody or any scenario out completely. Then we have the moon, we have the queen of acorns, as well as the ace of acorns. So we continue to have a ton of acorns within your reading, group number one, and I want you to know that having so many acorns really just shows that you might be attracting a fire sign, or if you are of a fire sign, that April is a month where all of the pros about you being a fire sign, for instance, Aries, Leo, are going to come to show in the love department. So it's important for you to not hold yourself back if you want to, for instance, get into online dating. If you want to chat somebody up know that April is a month where a lot of truth will come to light and you can be successful in love, okay? So I want you to know here in the Queen of Acorns the fact that it is okay for you to also get a little creative when it has to when it has to do with love. It is okay for you to be, you know, confident to be that one that makes the first step, even if it's not directly the first step. Even if you're not talking to somebody directly, asking them directly out, or, you know, to go on a date or to just meet up in the future. This could also be you being active and putting yourself out there in the form of, like I said, going on a dating platform. And I know there are a bunch of dating platforms that are just for hookups, but as much as there are platforms like that, there are also platforms for people who want serious relationships. So don't feel as though, you know, we need to throw all of these platforms into one pot, especially with the situation in the world that is going on. It might be a lot safer and better for you to just try and put yourself out there online, and that gives you time to establish a connection with somebody and not rush into meeting, or them not rushing to meeting you. And it just gives you kind of like a nice little trial phase, a nice little phase where you can see if you truly connect, and there's absolutely no pressure to meet up. There's no pressure to go out of your way in any way that makes you feel like things are moving too quickly. And then we have the first quarter moon as well as the third quarter moon. Okay, so we have a very interesting combo here for you, group number one. One thing that I see in the third quarter moon is that in order to cultivate a successful love life, you have a few adjustments that need to be made. But let's move a little further into your reading to figure out what those adjustments are, okay? Because one thing that I see here in the first quarter moon is that your commitment is going to be tested in April of 2020. Is that the commitment that you have to a current partner or situationship, or the commitment to love in general, okay? I definitely see as though here you're going to have to kind of adjust your energy. You're going to be tested in a way how the outcome will only be favorable to you if you make those adjustments, if you make sure that everything is in alignment with how it is supposed to be. So then we have the 5 of Acorns as well as the 2 of Acorns. Like, how is this possible, group number one? There are 78 cards in this tarot deck, and you managed to almost receive all acorns, okay? 5 acorns, 10 of acorns, Queen of Acorns, Ace of Acorns, 4 of Acorns, 2 of Acorns. The only thing that is not an acorn from your tarot deck is the moon, which says to follow your intuition, which says to go with, you know, what is deep inside of you, you know, what you feel has really been cooking up and has been festering. So I want you to know that the acorns are all driving you in the direction to also spend time doing things creatively, to only spend time talking to people who you feel passionate about talking to, and otherwise spend your time in creative ventures, okay? Drawing, singing, writing, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, that is where I want you to put your energy to in April of 2020. Love is not at the forefront, okay? Love is only a priority if you feel absolutely 100% passionate about a situation or a person. Otherwise, in the 5 of Acorns, I see that there is kind of like a potential for love to be a challenge if you make it the focal point. And I also see here in the 2 of Acorns that it will divert your focus from other parts of your life that will benefit so much more from you putting in energy. So I want you to know that it is absolutely no coincidence that you have chosen so many acorns, okay? As we spoke about right at the beginning of your reading, you saw me do this completely intuitively, okay? There's no cuts in and out of the video. You chose the Amazonite, which I said is very soothing for fire signs. So in correlation to you having so much fiery energy, don't forget to indulge and engage in soothing activities, group number 1. That is relaxing, just doing nothing, okay, and not feeling guilty about it. That is meditation. That is taking hot or cold baths, whichever you need and desire. And also just, you know, making sure that you're keeping your temper at bay. I see that in April of 2020, your temper, you may be a little like short-tempered, okay? You may lose it a lot quicker than you usually do because emotions are running high and you feel like there's some pent-up things going on within you. So it's important for you to have received this reading so that you can prepare yourself and be like, no, I'm just gonna chill. No matter how I'm being tested by other people or the universe, I'm not going to allow that to affect me. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful and that it can prepare you optimally for April of 2020 in your love life. So wherever you are in this world, I truly hope that you're having an amazing time and staying safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Howlite group number 2, which is the exact same stone that I actually have in my water bottle. If you're interested in it, link is down below. So this is a stone that allows mental stimulation as well as mental clarity, which is most likely why you felt drawn to it. Maybe that is exactly what you need when it comes to your love life, clarity. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's coming for you, shall we? So we have birth, we have tree of life, we have tree people. So one thing that I see here is that, you know, there may be the birth or sort of like progression into another human being around you. That may have to do with you or somebody close to you. Either way, I see very fertile grounds, okay, biologically, as well as just for love in general. Oh my God. Sorry, you guys. My Cody's in the other room and he just sneezed and it caught me off guard and I was like, I don't know if you guys saw it or if like the motion was too tiny. Anyways, back to the reading. In tree people, one thing that I see here is that a very important thing for you to look out for in your love life is sustainability. So if you're in a situation in your love life where you feel like you're being driven like to just smash your head against a wall, you feel like you're going crazy, you feel like you don't know what's going on, you feel like you cannot make up your mind whether you should give this another shot, whether you should go, what is really going on, you have to remove yourself out of that situation. Whether it is in a committed relationship or it's a situationship or you're single and you feel as though somebody is not treating you the way you want to be treated, girl, boy, unicorn, okay? You have to remove yourself because that is not sustainable. If you're constantly stressing, if you're constantly having to wonder where you stand, that is not a sustainable spot to be in. And that is where birth comes into play here. I see that in April of 2020, if you are able to let go, if you're able to say to yourself very honestly, hey, this behavior or these feelings are not sustainable, I have to do something about them, then I see a very nice little like renewal coming for you. When you let go of the things that are not sustainable, that are making you feel like you're going absolutely nuts, you are going to be able to kind of start this new fruitful beginning in your love life because now you have cleared out something that would most likely have not worked out in the long run anyways, okay? And in the long run, I mean for the next months or maybe years, especially if this is something that you want as a long-term thing, as a forever connection. You have to ask yourself, can I deal with these emotions that this person is stirring up? Because at the end of the day, no matter who you're with, there are things that you're going to love about the person, there are things that are going to drive you nuts. But you have to ask yourself, can you put up with those things that are driving you nuts? Do they kind of vibe with who you are as a person somewhere in this universe still, or are they very far removed from your core values to the point where it is such a disturbance that you might not want to live with it further down the line? So that is something very personal, very intimate that you need to think about and answer for yourself. Then we have the mutable moon. We have the new moon in Pisces as well as the new moon in Aquarius. So you may connect to Pisces or Aquarius when it comes to your love life. I see here in the new moon in Aquarius that love is being brought into the situation. So April of 2020 is a month where you have more love coming towards you, group number 2, which is obviously favorable in any situation, be it platonic love, be it love that is romantic. More love is just always a warmer, better feeling. And I see here that it's important for you to know that nothing is set in stone, okay? Especially referring back to you maybe kind of cutting the ties with something that is not sustainable. I want you to know in the mutable moon that that does not mean that you're going to be like have your mind made up for good, okay? you can always invite people back into your life. You can always try and rekindle situations in a different way. But you have to think for the moment in April of 2020. I see that there is something that you have to change right then and there. Know that the situation or the decision is not forever, but it has to be done then. In the new moon in Pisces, I want you to take enough time to meditate and contemplate. That is a very Pisces-esque kind of thing. Taking a lot of time to think, taking a lot of time to evaluate how you can hurt as little people as possible in the process of dealing with what you're going through. We have the Page of Acorns. So in the Page of Acorns, I definitely see here that there is potential for somebody to come into your life of a fire sign, somebody who is fun, someone who is spontaneous, but is still really getting to know themselves. They're not 100% sure who they are, where they stand, or where their career is going. So they're still, you know, maybe a little immature, maybe a little naive. Then we have the Knight of Acorns. So in the Knight of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that regardless of them being a little naive and possibly younger than you, maybe biologically, maybe just mentally, I want you to know here that they're still very driven. That is one thing about this page that may enter your life in April of 2020 when it comes to love. They're still very driven to go towards their goals or aspirations. They're still very passionate about life, okay? And they're the kind of person that feels if there's no passion there, there's no point in pursuing it. So know that this person pursuing you means that they're truly interested. Then we have the Star as well as the 10 of Feathers. So one thing that I see here in the 10 of Feathers is the fact that your love life is going through like a little mini recovery. And in the Star, I see that this has a lot to do with coming to peace and healing. So while you're letting go of things that are not sustainable, things that you know emotionally you just cannot keep up, just like we spoke about here in Tree People, things that drive you absolutely crazy, when you're able to just kind of let go, you can inhale, exhale, start on a fresh beginning. I want you to know that the 10 of Feathers is all about, you know, this transformative stage and being able to recover from things that you have been through in the past, things that you have experienced in love that may have been very difficult to deal with. Then we have the Upper World as well as Four-Legged. Okay, so in Four-Legged, I want you to kind of endure, okay? I know it won't be easy. Your love life is not the easiest to deal with in April of 2020. And I'm just gonna tell you that honestly, because the worst thing I think you can do as a reader is to just say what people want to hear, okay? So it's important for you to know that yes, you're going to need some endurance. Yes, you're going to need to hang in there. Yes, you're going to have days where you just wish that you could move into a different place instantly. That is what I see here in the Upper World. But it's important for you to know that a situation that is tough, a situation where you need to overcome a mental blockage, okay, where you're mentally very stimulated, as we spoke about in the Howlite, just means that you're going to learn new abilities, that you're going to get to know yourself better, and that you're going to know how to deal at a later point because you have already experienced this. So see every experience as something that you can take with you. Experiences are things that nobody can ever take, you know, it's like knowledge. Once you know things, that is something that you can never lose, that nobody can ever take away from you. It's not something in the earthly realms like money. It's not something material. It is actually so much more invaluable than we think it is. So allow yourself to see things from that aspect, and also allow, you know, this person who is still kind of trying to get to know themselves, who is still in the phase of their own self-discovery, to come into your life, because they may teach you things or inspire you in certain ways that make you feel happier and make you feel more motivated. So I do not see that they are, you know, the love of your life within this reading. I definitely see that it would be a very like careful getting to know each other, because they're maybe not the usual person that you would go for, but they're definitely the kind of person that will bring value to your life and that will make you rethink your choices, your decisions, and also the kind of person that you would usually go for in love and the compatibility, whether it's there or not there. So group number 2, this is a reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading about your love life in April of 2020. So you chose the Citrine, which is the stone and crystal of abundance as well as prosperity, especially in the earthly realms, which is maybe something that you desperately need and want. But let's move into your reading to figure out more, okay? So we have staff, we have earth, as well as sacred site. So one thing that I see here in sacred site is the fact that your purpose has a lot to do with your love life, okay? I see that your love life reflects a lot about your purpose, and in earth, I see that your purpose is to nurture and to supply this world with more value, especially to those who need it the most. I want you to know here in these staff that the foundation of your love life is always built on love and respect. You're somebody who is very caring, very nurturing. That is what I see here in the earth. And you're the kind of person who always believes in other people's dreams and aspirations. You don't put a damper on it. You're the kind of person who always wants to uplift, especially in a romantic relationship. And I see here that your love life could really benefit from, who you are in your career and the kind of person that you are when it comes to your life's purpose, your journey, and as I said, the kind of like profession that you should be doing. So whether you are already in like your dream job or still approaching it, figuring out what that may be, I want you to know that healing and just being that nurturing kind of ground plays a big role. So that may already give you confirmation on where you might want to go in your career, what your purpose may be. So I want you to know that the same goes for your love life, and it's important for you not to forget that. The reason why this may have showed up in your reading, just reminding you of what your purpose is in your love life, maybe because you're blocking your love life from blossoming into what you really want it to be, because you're not allowing yourself to kind of express how nurturing you really are. And this may have to do with the fact that in April of 2020, you're maybe not quite in balance. And whenever we're out of balance, whenever we're in a situation where balance is just not there, we act up and act out in all kinds of ways, and we're not quite who we are destined to be in all areas of life, socially, our love lives, as well as our careers. So allow yourself to focus on your personal balance in April, okay? So we have the Queen of Crystals, we have the Two of Acorns, as well as the Nine of Shells. So not to worry, group number 3, I want you to know in the Nine of Shells that there is still fulfillment here for you in April of 2020. I see that the fulfillment is one on an emotional level. It is one that goes pretty deep. As I can see here in the Two of Acorns, that you just kind of like focusing on being happy is really what will propel you into that space. So that is something very amazing. That is something that people look up to you for, the fact that you're able to kind of create prosperity on your own. You don't need another human being, and you can make the most out of your situation and put yourself into a spot where you feel emotionally fulfilled, whether you're single, in a relationship, or in a situationship. You don't depend on anybody. So then we have the Hermit as well as the Two of Shells. So we have a kind of duality here, okay? On one side, I see love, I see a union, I see harmony, maybe even physically being close to somebody. But at the same time, in the Hermit, I definitely see being in your home, being in your own space, and kind of feeling a little bit secluded, isolated, but having a lot of time for contemplation, as well as to just study yourself, your environment, your love life. So one thing that I see here is that April may be divided into different chunks. On one hand, April is a month where, we have in the Two of Shells this feeling of closeness, this union, this harmony with another human being, okay? So the development of a close relationship. And then at the same time, we have phases in April where it's just all about you, okay? It's all about being alone, being by yourself, contemplation, and figuring out how you feel about love, how you feel about your love life, and not really, getting physical or close to anybody per se. So that may be because that's what you choose to do, or maybe that's just the current situation. So then we have the new moon in Capricorn, as well as the full moon in Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn, this may be exactly why you tuned into this reading, okay? In the full moon in Capricorn, one thing that I see here is that the end of April will be the end of a tough cycle in your love life. Furthermore, in the new moon in Capricorn, I see that any work that you put in self-development and making sure your love life is going where you desire it to go is going to pay off. So if you've been needing a positive outcome, know that the end of April is going to come with a great outcome for your love life, group number 3. So this may be exactly what you needed, some prosperity and abundance, just as we had in the citrine that you chose. So one thing that I see here in birth as well as the upper world is the fact that there is a renewal coming for your love life. I see that this, March and April, the beginning of April, is going to maybe put a little bit of a toll on you mentally, your love life, but I definitely see a renewal coming, okay? I see here that moving into the future, we have fresh, bouncy, beautiful energy for your love life, but know that you might have to just give it a little bit of time through April until you get to the end of it to really see how amazing your love life is looking, okay? How amazing things are looking in the future. That is one thing that I see in the upper world. So for you, group number 3, I really want you to just focus on expressing yourself in the best way possible, which is expressing this nurturing side of yourself, making sure that you don't fall out of balance, because that will stop you from being who you need to be in order to create that successful love life, and of course to look forward to what is next to come. Know that you're nearing the end of a difficult cycle in your love life, and that is something great. And know that without difficult cycles, there wouldn't be easy and fun cycles, because it would just all be the same. So let's have a little appreciation for the good, the bad, the difficult. So group number 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful and that it was just a chill reading for you. So wherever you are in this world, group number 3, I hope that you're staying safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading about your love life in April of 2020. So you chose the Orchid Calcite, which is a gorgeous mineral. It is just like this beautiful kind of orchid color. So I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on for you. So we have the medicine mask, we have feathers, as well as stone people. Okay, I definitely see a restoration of your love life. So things may have been a little up and down, a little all over the place, but in feathers, I see a feeling of liberation, as well as being able to restore things back to normality, as well as back to where you feel comfortable. In the medicine mask, I see here that a lot of this has to do with the fact that maybe you have not been as in touch with yourself as you usually are, or as you would like to be. So this may be, for different reasons. Maybe things are in a really weird place in your life in general, maybe at your job, maybe in your personal life, but I want you to know that in April of 2020, you will have this moment where you know that you just know, okay, this inner knowing. That is one thing that I want to communicate to you, and that your guides want to communicate to you, that you have it within you to know when things are looking up, when things are going towards liberation as well as restoration. And that is when I want you to really put the pedal to the metal, to the pedal to the, you know what I mean? Put your foot on the gas, go full force forward in the direction that makes you feel liberated and makes you feel like your love life is kind of going back to the norm, or going back to a point where you feel like it's favorable, where you feel like you're able to attract love. Okay, so we have the Two of Shells as well as the Queen of Crystals. So in the Two of Shells, I definitely see a high possibility for creating a connection with another person romantically. And I see here in the Queen of Crystals that it all comes from a point of comfort. So the way that you meet them is in a way that makes you feel comfortable. So that may be, behind a screen. Some people like to do online dating. Some people like to meet other people through friends, where you just start texting or hanging out. One thing that I see here in the Sun that we just received is that that there's a lot of joy coming towards you in April of 2020. So really your love life is looking very favorable for you. As I said, the Two of Shells is another favorable card. It is probably one of the most favorable cards in regards to love in the entire tarot. So see that as a positive indication. Then we have the Three of Shells, as well as the Shaman. So I definitely see here in the Three of Shells that you will find a lot of ways to have fun in April of 2020, especially in regards to love. You're in a very playful state, in a very playful kind of place, and any kind of difficulties with meeting people, seeing people, spending time together, you will be able to bridge those by, for instance, you know, texting, calling, FaceTiming, whatever it is that you desire to do, Skyping. I definitely see here that you will be able to connect in ways how you maybe did not connect prior to April, but it will feel authentic, it will feel pure, and it will feel like it is what you're meant to do at that point in time. Then in the Shaman, one thing that I see here is the fact that your divine wisdom, your divine knowing is something that will really come to show when it comes to your love life. So I truly believe that we are all psychic to a certain extent. We all have, you know, instinct, we all have intuition, we all have divine knowing. Whether you choose to exercise the muscle that is your intuition or not, that is, of course, a very individual question. That is something that depends on each person. But I do see here that your divine wisdom is going to guide you. I see that you may almost like see things, hear things, have like this feeling that draws you towards certain scenarios that you think to yourself, this cannot be a coincidence, this must be a sign. So don't kind of like brush it under the rug. Do not tell yourselves that you're going crazy. I mean, sometimes it's better to keep some things to yourself, especially if you feel like you can see things like flashbacks of situations that you feel like you've already been in. So when you're experiencing the situation, you feel like it's a memory, you feel like you've already experienced it in the past and it's just happening again, even though you know it can't be. So, okay, so group number 4, I hope you understand what I mean, that I'm not too much all over the place. So sometimes it's best to keep those things to yourself or just to share with people who are not going to think that you're crazy, because those can really be signs and indications of where you're supposed to go in your love life and where you are going. So then we have the North Node, as well as the super moon. We have the third quarter moon, as well as the balsamic moon. So one thing that I see here is that April of 2020 is also a time for healing, okay? So healing is maybe something that you did not engage in as much as you should, but I want you to know that it is a time for emotional healing, especially when it comes to love, okay? I see here in the third quarter moon that you have to make a few adjustments when it comes to who you are in love and just how healed up you are. So if you constantly kind of compare people that you're dating to people that you've dated in the past, or you kind of try and look for red flags, okay, for signs that they're not the one, or signs that maybe you're not as attractive or not as lovable, I want you to know that whenever you do that, you will find confirmation of that, and obviously that is not shifting you into the right headspace and vibration that you want to be in. So it's very important for you to heal from thinking that way about yourself as well as other people, okay? I see a little bit of like a very suspicious kind of vibe here coming from you, group number 4. And I want you to know here in the supermoon that it's okay. You know, emotions run high sometimes, and emotions are going to be running high in April of 2020. That is just no way around it. But I see here in the North Node that because your emotions are running high, because you might be feeling a little bit just out of it, a little bit like you can't even feel your face anymore, that is what I see that will propel you to step out of your comfort zone more quickly, or in a more easier fashion, in an easier manner than you usually would, okay? So that is something positive, because your comfort zone is really something that can hold you back, especially in love. So the more you kind of broaden and widen your comfort zone, the more you're able to meet new people as well as attract new love. But just broadening your comfort zone is something very personal, something you have to do by yourself with, you know, the guidance of your divine knowing and just, you know, your emotions and knowing exactly when it feels right for you to make that next step. But I see that you will feel very kind of unlike yourself in love, group number 4. So I don't want you to freak out. I just want you to know that you are going through something in April of 2020 when it comes to love, and feeling kind of out of it may make you feel a lot more bold. That is what I see in the North Node, that the result of it is you being more bold, putting yourself more out there, being okay with asking, you know, somebody out first, as well as just like demanding the love and the respect that you deserve, that you require, that you need. And that is one thing that, as I said, will just broaden your comfort zone. And then all of a sudden, instead of your comfort zone being like this, it's like that, you know what I mean? And there's just so much more space to venture into, so many more things that you will feel comfortable trying in love, romantically, sexually, also in platonic relationships that you weren't comfortable enough to do prior to that. So that may be, for instance, asking for help, asking for a shoulder to cry on. That's maybe something you've never felt comfortable doing, but all of a sudden changing that because your comfort zone grows and you're like, well, other people cry on my shoulder all the time, so I sometimes need someone to cry on as well, somebody's shoulder to cry on, you know what I mean, group number 4. Or like, for instance, trying new things with your partner when it comes to, you know, just strengthening your bond, your relationship, things that you would have been too shy to do prior to April of 2020. So it's a crazy transformative month for you, but I want you to look forward to it. I want you to know that there are a lot of things that are coming into your life that are new, that are exciting, and that will make you feel as though, you know, you're liberated. And yes, love and your love life is restored to a place where you feel comfortable again, but being able to restore the love life will entail you getting out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Creating a comfort zone, creating a zone that you're comfortable in requires you stepping out of that comfort zone, because that's when you broaden it. That's when you're in a place where maybe you haven't been so comfortable, and in order to make it comfortable, your comfort zone needs to be bigger. So I feel like you're almost being forced into broadening, widening your comfort zone, which will result in you thinking to yourself, gee, I really needed that little kick in the butt. I really needed to just push myself out there and be more confident in who I am romantically. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.